Well, I am really enjoying myself here, and I can tell you why. Well, first of all, the first day of the World Skill Competition is nearly over, but I still have something really special saved for you. Now, some people call this skill a chance to be creative every day and have the ability to spread joy with something you've created. And as we know now, I'm talking about floristry. Now, as you can see, we're standing by the skill area near the stand, and we've got a lot of teams here competing, working on their magic, and we've got the Spanish team here. This is the individual from Spain. Now, as you can see, he's working with his centerpiece and trying to create something personal, something interesting, something really individual. You see how he's looking for a place to place this particular flower. Now we're moving on. We've got the team from Malaysia and then the team from Germany, and I've got the team from Korea behind my back. Now the atmosphere here is really fantastic. I can't even describe all the smell from the flowers. There are so many here. We know that flowers play quite a large part in many aspects of social life, in the decoration of special events and meetings. There are so many things that a florist can create with these precious objects. Centerpieces, entryways, reception tables, bridal bouquets. Well, these are only a few examples of how flowers are used in the business and social event settings. Now, let me give you, Nikki, a bit of a history background. As it turned out, the first flower shop opened in 1875, and back in 1926, the first national professional qualification examinations in floristry were held in the Netherlands. So this business has its history. Floristry could be for you if you are creative, of course, but if you also love all things creative and enjoy arts and crafts, floristry may be a good career choice for you. But another, well, that's quite an obvious thing. Of course, having a love for flowers is necessary in this business. Now, a florist needs to be artistic with an eye for color and design. Then a florist should also have some great communication skills. He should be quite discreet and confidential when dealing with some personal matters of his customers. Now, to discuss this particular skill and to discuss the whole industry of floristry, I'm now joined by Hanna Heikkilä, who is a skill competition manager. Thank you so much for joining me here, and we're gonna talk about floristry, but as I understand, you are a florist designer yourself. Now, tell me please, what made you choose such a profession?
Well, I am a handicraft person, so I want to work with my hands. And floristry is actually, when you are at the basic level or even if you are at the higher level, it's not about ideas and it's not about just designing, but it's about obeying certain kind of rules. And I like it. I like to mix once I have learned them. So I have learned about the study of color. So once I've learned it, I want to test and I want to combine and I want to make different combinations. When I study about the materials, I want to make different combinations again. And you know, nature offers such a massive amount of everything, possibilities and opportunities.
Why do you think that nature has so many possibilities and opportunities? What nature has given to you?
Well, like here, if we only pick the materials from flower market, the test projects would be probably quite boring. But to add the elements from nature, like the little bit not the even branches or not always the perfect flowers or perfect leaves and so on. So we have more characteristic material coming from the nature. And in every country there is the nature is different. So if you travel to South America, you pick up the jungle things. If you come more to the north, you find out more about the northern style. So you might make very aesthetic things and simple things here, and you might make very rich things here, and it affects also the color and everything. So nature is an inspiration for us.
So basically, it's like adding a personal touch of nature to different pieces.
Yeah, and a good floristry design is a work that you can see where it is made and in which type of the year as well. So that is the perfect way to do floristry.
So basically, it has a lot of what we can learn from it, you know. So you look at a good florist can look at the bouquet, for example, and tell where and who did it, and what time, at what season was it done.
That's the way. That's the way. And like when we have been making books or some kind of publishes, so from those ones we can see that, okay, this is the spring edition, but it was done late autumn, for example. Because we, as florists, we also know the material when it's growing.
Wow, that is really interesting. And how long did it take you to become a florist?
Well, I did the longest possible way, probably, because I have been studying I was working in a flower shop first, and then I did my exam with apprenticeship. Then I was learning abroad, so I was spending some months away from my home country in a master florist. And then I did my master exam later, and then I became a teacher, and now I work as a teacher. I also do seminars, I do assessments, I do the judging, and I make demonstrations and everything. But yes, it took me more than 20 years, and I'm still not complete. I still have a lot to learn.
Well, that is quite a long career path. That is true. What kind of a piece of advice can you give to those who want to become a florist? Do you think that it's a right way to start by being an assistant, you know, working at a florist shop and just looking? Do you think it's the right way?
I would say it's the best way. First, you think if this is your skill, because many think that you just go and you start by creating lovely things, but it's not the skill. The skill has, first you start with the basic, you start with the handcraft, you work with your hands, and once you know how to wire well a cone, then you know how to do it, but you have to do it not only one time or 10 times or 100 or 1,000 times. Maybe you need to do it 10,000 times, but yes, to start from the bottom, so you have the very flat, good background and base on your skill, and then you just improve your skill, and maybe somebody is good at doing flower arrangement, somebody's doing room decoration, somebody's doing bridal works and so on. And here we are also having different kinds of test projects, so that we try to find the skill in total here.
Well, I've got a last question about just floristry in general. Tell me, what's the best thing for you being a florist?
Happy customer.
Really?
When a customer comes to flower shop and I have managed to fulfill all the expectations, that's the best thing you can get.
Like smiles from your customers.
Happy
customers and smiles. Oh, that's really nice. That is sweet, actually. Now, coming back to this competition, if we could talk a little bit more about what's happening here. Now, we're standing near the Germany stand, but we've got so many other teams now taking part in this. What are they doing?
Well, today when they started, they were first splitting the material and conditioning the materials because they need to be taken care of. And then they have created these bouquets that you have been filming here and seeing these here, these gorgeous bouquets in this wonderful big container. And this was supposed to match one of the future buildings here in Kazan, the National Library and Bank. And now they are making this arrangement for the traditional vase, the very traditional Russian vase that you can take the color out. You can split it into pieces if necessary.
So they all have Russian vases to fill?
Yes.
The same vases?
They all have the same, but well, they're not exactly the same because they're hand painted, but more or less they are same. Yeah.
So basically this is the second stage now. They've made one thing already, these big bouquets in big vases, and now they're making this national crafted vases. And what's going to happen tomorrow? All these days, what are the rules? They're going to be creating something every day, right? And learning points.
Tomorrow they are starting with the surprise box. So tomorrow morning there will be a kind of surprise test project coming, maybe a box, maybe with some information. It is going to be interesting. And then they are going to continue in the afternoon with the bridal design. And then they work with, on the day 3, they continue with some more surprise items. And then they continue with hanging wall decoration, which is a room decoration. Then they continue again with plant arrangement, and then again more surprise items coming. So they are making 3 surprise items here.
All right, well, that sounds very interesting. Thank you so much for the insight. And we are looking forward to watching how they do that, and especially to watching the bouquets already ready, being ready.
Please enjoy.
Thank you. All right, Nikki, I'm coming back to you. As we just found out, these guys, well, their work has just started. The first day is nearly over, but these guys behind me have another 3 days to compete, and that is some hard work they're looking at.